There's an alternate timeline somewhere out there in the multiverse where Elon Musk is no longer the owner of Tesla in 2023. In this bizarro world, Tesla is just another division at Google, or Alphabet as they're trying to call themselves, and Elon peaced out following the release of the Model 3, leaving the electric vehicle company firmly in the grasp of a mega corporation. According to Everything Everywhere All at Once, we create an alternate universe with every decision that we make, a new branch of reality where a copy of yourself plays out the scenario that could have been had you made a different choice. The Tesla by Google universe was created when Elon Musk very nearly made the decision to sell his fledgling company to Google CEO Larry Page. But why would Elon even consider selling the company that would go on to make him the richest man in the world? It's complicated. So we've got to jump back in time by 10 years to get the set and setting for this particular story. It was a different world back then. Vine was the hot new video sharing app. No one had even heard of K-pop yet, and Harambe was still alive. Ah, the good old days. But over at Tesla, Elon Musk wasn't doing so hot. The company had been operating for 5 years, and it had been a hard road to travel. They had a mostly successful launch of their first electric roadster sports car, even though Jeremy Clarkson had very publicly taken the piss out of it on Top Gear in 2008, telling viewers that the roadster ran out of battery and broke down after just a few minutes of track driving, and concluding the episode by telling the world that the Tesla doesn't work. Elon sued the BBC for libel and malicious falsehood. Tesla didn't win the lawsuit, but Top Gear did admit that they made up all of the problems with the Roadster, and the whole review was a scripted comedy sketch. This was the same year that Tesla almost went bankrupt for the first time. The first of many close calls. But, I mean, going bankrupt was kind of a trend in 2008. It was a rough year. In October 2008, Tesla had failed to secure a $100 million investment round, and that had led Elon to fire 1/4 of his staff. He was coasting into the end of the fourth quarter on fumes. It took a Christmas miracle to save the company, and it came from the most unexpected place. Tesla closed a deal at 6 p.m. on December 24th to secure $50 million from the German automaker Daimler. Elon has said that without that money, his payroll would have bounced 2 days later. Following that was a struggle to find a location to build their second-generation electric vehicle platform, the Model S. Tesla nearly had to pack up their operation and move to New Mexico in order to set up a factory they could actually afford. The only thing that kept Tesla in California was a special tax incentive extended to them by Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was the governor at the time. Yeah, that was a thing. In 2012, the Model S finally launched to a lot of fanfare from eager Silicon Valley elites who loved the idea of driving a computer on wheels, and the pre-orders rolled in. This would prove to be a blessing and a curse. Elon and his cohorts at Tesla didn't actually know how to mass produce a car. Elon had built his career working on the internet, and he'd spent most of the past decade playing with rockets. He had no idea what to expect. Tesla had been fortunate to get into their Fremont factory for a bargain price, and it came pre-built and fully equipped to manufacture cars. But that production line had last been in service building Toyotas. It was nowhere near optimized for fully electric luxury cars. The few Model S sedans that did make it out of the door were noted for their amazingly futuristic design, but equally amazingly poor quality, for $80,000. Again, 2012, that was a lot of money. You got a wildly uncomfortable, rickety vehicle that was riddled with software bugs and glitchy door handles that would occasionally just lock you out of the car until they decided to work again. Ironically, people used to blast Tesla for their lack of autonomous driving features. The early Model S didn't even have park assist or adaptive cruise control, which were already pretty standard for luxury vehicles of the time. That wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. Even with all of its many flaws, people loved the Model S. They supported the technology and Tesla's mission statement to accelerate the world towards a sustainable energy future. Car and Driver even named the Model S its 2013 Car of the Year, so the orders continued to roll in. But the problems with the company continued as well. They just could not get a steady stream of cars going out of the factory and into the hands of customers. That means that Tesla wasn't actually converting all of these pre-orders into sales, and that meant that they weren't making any money. This problem was compounded by the massive amount of debt that the company had taken on in order to produce the Model S in the first place. Governor Arney wasn't the only official that had faith in Tesla. The U.S. Department of Energy had loaned the company $465 million to produce fully electric vehicles, battery packs, and electric motors at their Fremont plant. That money was crucial in getting the company off the ground, but the government expected to be paid back. 2013 marked the second time that Tesla almost went bankrupt. By the end of 2012, the company was basically living paycheck to paycheck with never more than a couple of weeks' worth of cash on hand. But the top executives were doing their best to keep these problems secret. Meanwhile, Elon Musk was carrying on oblivious to the fires burning inside his own factory. Elon was maintaining the image of the uber-successful billionaire playboy. He was making cameos as himself in Marvel superhero movies. Elon was generally considered at the time to be a man who was changing the world. So, when he found out that he was actually flat broke, Elon was pissed. His reaction was to fire every top executive at Tesla and promote hungry young people to take over their roles. He pulled staff from every department and put everyone to task on selling cars. In one of his best quotes, Elon told his employees, "If we don't deliver these cars, we are f***ed. So I don't care what job you are doing, your new job is delivering cars." End quote. Also wanted to give a quick shout out to our amazing Discord community. Here is our question of the week, and this was our favorite answer. And here is the meme of the week winner. Join our Discord community to participate next week through the link in the description below. It was in the midst of this hurricane of chaos that Elon Musk approached Larry Page. Now, Elon and Larry are actually old friends. This wasn't so much a Hail Mary play as it was Elon just asking for help from a trusted peer in his industry. Elon was known to be found crashing on Larry Page's couch around this point in their history because Elon didn't actually own any property in Silicon Valley. Page told reporters in 2015 about Elon, "He's kind of homeless. He'll email and say, 'I don't know where to stay tonight. Can I come over?'" In this particular meeting, Elon was basically asking Larry, "I don't know what to do with this company. Will you buy it from me?" No one knew this at the time, but Tesla had very quietly shut down production temporarily at the Fremont factory to stop their cash flow from running dry. So this was a desperate hour. So Elon wrote up a deal. Google would buy Tesla for $6 billion, and they would put aside an additional $5 billion for factory expansion in the future. There were a few stipulations. 1, Google would not be allowed to break up the company and part it out. 2, Elon would continue to run Tesla for up to 8 years or until the company produced their third-generation vehicle platform, whichever came first. Elon was determined to follow through on his first master plan, sell an expensive sports car, and use that money to mass-produce a luxury sedan, and then use that money to mass-produce an affordable electric car. If he could achieve that goal, then Elon could at least leave in peace. A business deal of that scale obviously has to go through several rounds of lawyers and executives and red tape, so it was up in the air for quite a long time. Long enough for something miraculous to start happening. Apparently, Elon's restructuring and motivational threatening was paying off. Tesla was selling cars. The production line was restarted and the money was flowing again. For the first time in their history, Tesla made money, posting $11 million in earnings for Q1 2013. As Tesla's share price began to soar, Elon decided that he didn't need help from Larry Page anymore, and the deal between Tesla and Google was torn up. Tesla stock began the year 2013 at $2.20, split adjusted, and ended the year at $10 per share. That enabled the company to pay off the entirety of their $465 million federal loan and take them out of the danger zone of bankruptcy. That is, until the next time Tesla would nearly go bankrupt, but that's a whole other story. Now that has us wondering, what might have become of Tesla if the Google deal had gone through? Well, we know that Google has had ambitions in the automotive sector for a long time. The Google self-driving car project dates back to 2009, long before Elon Musk ever started talking about autonomous cars and robotaxis. He might have even got the idea from Larry Page, who knows? Google's vehicle project eventually became Waymo in 2016, a company that offers fully autonomous taxi rides in select areas of Phoenix, Arizona, and San Francisco, California. So, a Tesla under the ownership of Google and with oversight from Elon Musk probably wouldn't have looked so different from what we know today. We would have at least gotten the Model 3, and full self-driving would definitely still be a thing, though it is doubtful that Google would have just thrown the new beta software out into the wild for everyone to play with. The thing about Google products is that they are generally really effective, but at the same time just bland and unexciting. So would Elon have been able to get away with something like the Falcon wing door on the Model X? Probably not. Model S Plaid? Unlikely. Would we have ever seen a Google Cybertruck? Absolutely not. All of the eccentric, innovative, risky, and admittedly controversial factors that define Tesla in the modern day probably never would have existed in a post-Elon Musk Google-controlled company. Which begs the question, would that have really been a change for the better? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it. That is so important for getting our content out to more people. If you enjoy the content, then you'd probably also enjoy our weekly newsletter, so sign up with the link down below at theteslaspace.com. A huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters who are listed on the screen now. You help us make the best content we can, and we really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.